step number one, what do we need to do here? Step number one, very simply, is you need to understand your situation. What do I mean by this? Well, you need to conduct a two-step audit. The two questions that you might want to ask is, number one, what are your clients demanding that you're not offering? So take a minute, maybe grab a piece of paper and write down, what are your clients demanding that you're not offering? This should be a think tank exercise. Maybe have a glass of wine or whatever, so you can get into this free spirit and think about your core competency in the lane that you play in, but then also think about, write down all the different things that your client is demanding that you're not offering. Okay, so that's the first question. When you come up with a list of those things, go to second question, which is, what can you offer your clients that they're getting from somewhere else? Now you know what your clients are demanding. Are they getting that from somewhere else? Yes, no, maybe so. Well, if so, how can you partner with somebody that has a software that offers that solution? Very simple. All you need to do, step one, is understand your situation. If you understand your situation, then you can springboard forward. It's kind of like that idea is, you know where you're at and you know where you need to go, and everything that's left in between is a gap, right? And so all we got to do is fill out the gap and you'll be in great shape. Step number two, you need to know the white label vendor's track record. Know the track record, because if you know the track record, then you can absolutely springboard forward. So stop what you're doing. Don't jump at the promise of best returns. A lot of people that offer software as a service, white labeled, will say, hey, we can give you X dollars. And obviously, a lot of people see money signs and dollar signs and they say, oh, that would be easy. And they get into it. And then they realize it was a complete disaster. They should have never done it. It spent all this time, energy, effort, money, and sweat and tears and blood. And it just didn't pan out the way that they were wanting. So before you dive into choosing a software as a service to white label, one of the things you need to do is just check their track record. How have they helped other companies? How have they done for themselves? What are they doing to propel their tech roadmap? Do they have a 5-year roadmap? Do they not? Do they have a good, strong, solid technical foundation? Do they have everything in a row? All their ducks are lined up, right? How long have they been in business is a great other question. Do they have proper results? And once you start to see these things, maybe speak with some other people that have done the thing that you're thinking about doing. Do a little bit more marketing research. I think that's going to help you tremendously in finding the right white label solution. How do they, and a big one that a lot of people miss is, how do they avoid conflict of interest? How do they avoid conflict in general? Or how do they deal with when they get in the mud? How do they recover from bad situations? I believe what makes a really strong company is when they get challenged, or when they have a pitfall, or when they just lose everything falls apart. How do they respond to that? Is that something that you do? Is it the same way? Would you be able to work with those types of people? And that's really where you want to get into the crux of it, because it's not what you do, it's who you do it with. And so just remember, the white label vendor track record is of something of high importance. This is step two in how to pick the right white label solution. Moving on to number three, will they help you? Who knows? Are they going to help you? I don't know. Well, will they help you market? Do they have any services ancillary to what their product offering is, where they can come at you and say, here's a template, you can just put it in your business, one click and execute? Do they have training videos, or do you have to record your own training videos? A lot of things to think about here, right? Secondly, what impact will it have on their sales and lead generation? Are you helping them grow? Are you helping yourself grow? Like what is the process of onboarding? Can you use the same onboarding process that they offer you? Who knows, right? These are great questions that you're going to want to answer before you go down the path of actually white labeling a software. Moving to step four, is it flexible? You got to know if it's flexible or not. So if it's flexible, what do I mean by this? Well, how flexible is the platform and skill level required to operate the platform? I love this GIF. Does it have a short learning curve? Can you just plug and play? If somebody were to come into your white label version that's all branded up for you, hit the buy button, they get involved, and next thing you know, they can watch a series of 2 or 5 videos and they know exactly what to do and how to do it and how to get results. Well, then that would be considered a shorter learning curve. If you have to put the time and energy and effort into putting the videos in place or the assets around there so that you can help them to grow and hit those results, that's something to think about, right? Secondly, does it integrate with the other applications that you're currently using? Who knows? You probably use a lot of different softwares. And one thing that you want to think about is how does it integrate, or how does it play? Does it play friendly and nice with all of the other softwares? Is it an open API? Is it, how is it working? Is it Zapier or some of these other, softwares that do the same thing as Zapier? How does it integrate with everybody? Is it flexible enough to bend into your lane of what you're trying to accomplish with your business? So step 4 is to know, is that white label solution flexible enough to fit into your world? Can you completely customize it? I don't know. Some softwares that are white label, you can put your branding on some part of it, but sometimes you can't. In FlowChat's case, you can completely customize it from start to finish. You can put your own icons, your own brand, your own colors, your own everything, your own pictures in there, your own videos. You can house your own courses. You get your own custom Chrome extension that comes along with it. You get your own favicon. You get everything. Like, it's fully customized, right? So just think about these things when you're thinking about potentially white labeling a software as a service, because if it's not flexible enough for you, don't do it, right? Just not a good choice to do it. And lastly, number 5, there's a couple of things here. Budget, pricing, support. Budget, pricing, and support obviously are very valuable. You want to create a win-win-win-win-win-win-win situation. You hear that everywhere. So one thing is, how much do you pay? What is the pay structure? Does it fluctuate? Does it go up? Does it go down? The more clients you bring on board, do you get reduced pricing? What's the wholesale agreement? What does that look like? Is there a contract or an agreement that you have to sign, right? Secondly, how much do you profit? Does the profit go up over time? What's the retention of the average person using that white label solution, right? A lot of questions to start asking and maybe having conversations about before you actually dive in and do this thing. What happens when thing goes wrong? This is one of the biggest questions that I get all the time when people are asking me about white label. They say, Sean, like, what happens if everything goes wrong? Well, first of all, we have class A support. We have people around the world working around the clock to just continue to make our tech infinitely bulletproof, in other words. And so when things go wrong, you always have the support structure in place. We provide a private Slack channel. I don't know what other companies do. We also have email correspondence. We have checkups, and we have reporting and all this other stuff that's really, really valuable for anybody that is white labeling our stuff. But again, if you're going to look at a white label solution, what happens when things go wrong? Just something that you might want to consider, right? What type of support do they offer? I just mentioned. Do they have email support? Do they have is it a call center that you just get really, I hate it when I call a call center and I'm just like, I get this person from the Bahamas or from India or from wherever, and they just don't understand. It's so frustrating. I'm sure you can relate to that one if you've ever called any of the phone carriers or support providers, right? So, but what type of support do they offer? I think it's something to think about, right? And then, of course, I think the biggest one that we need to cover here is, does it fit your mission and your value? Does it fit your mission and your value? That is a question you absolutely need to answer, because if you're not doing that, it's going to be friction, right? And the example I could give would be, if you happen to be an electrician. Let's say you're an electrician, you provide services for, residential, and there's a plumber that likes to take shortcuts, but this plumber happens to get a ton of work, and you want to grow your electrician business. So you go to this guy and you're like, hey, I want to white label your services. Are you interested in that? And you can work on all kinds of deals like this. This is just a real life example that I know of. Electrician company then outsources the plumbing work. So they'll go into the electrician, the database of all their clients and say, hey, I see your plumbing isn't working quite over here in this bathroom. Do you want me to bring our plumbing crew out? And they say, oh, yes, that's great. So the plumber comes along. He cuts he cuts all the shortcuts. He takes shortcuts. He doesn't do a proper job. And that client ends up getting this big leaking problem. And then it looks really poor on the electrician company that white labeled that solution. So just something to think about is the person that you're actually going to white label the solution with, are they in line with your mission and your value? Do they see the same thing that you're trying to achieve in your life? If so, then it's probably a great fit for you, right? So a couple of things to think about there. Last thing is, I'll just share this. FlowChat is a white label friendly reseller platform. We have only dozens of white labelers at the moment. We're growing extremely quickly right now. We have some capacity for some new ones. So if you're in the digital marketing space and you're building things like systems for your clients, a lot of different things that you can could do there. If you're looking for like a lead gen piece or a messaging management system that you can easily bring in-house, look below, click the link below, and come check us out, because I can tell you that we are one of the premier companies in the space. We actually own the DMs, right? We have 9 social platforms that we serve. We have a lot of things that I think might be really valuable for you in terms of white labeling, right? We have your own Chrome extension, 9 platforms. We have messenger overlay features where you can natively message in the actual DM environment. We have some reporting that's state of the art, and we have just a tech roadmap that's bulletproof. And last but not least, of course, we put the AI power at your fingertips, and you can offer that now to your clients to even grow faster. So if you're interested in having a conversation about FlowChat and white label, please book a call with us right away. I think it could help you very much. So with that said, again, you've just been tuned up. I hope this one was valuable for you. I know I enjoy talking about white label. White label, I think, is the secret key to all the businesses that are going to propel forward in the next decade or 2 or 3 decades. And we're just going to continue bringing the heat with all the new tech that we bring to the party. So again, if this is something that's interesting to you, don't wait. Book a call now. Check us out. And with that said, please make sure and like this video, subscribe to the channel if you found value in this video today. Would love to keep dropping little value bombs at you. And of course, share this out with somebody who might need to white label in their agency and needs a little bit of a checklist to go through in order to be successful. With that said, you've just been tuned up, and I can't wait to see you next time. But until then, we'll talk at you a little bit later. Bye for now.